In the vast savanna of the Swallow Game Reserve in South Africa, a lioness gave birth for the first time during the unforgiving dry season. The two cubs, born frail and shivering, let out their first faint roars. Yet the lioness, lacking maternal instinct, abandoned them immediately after birth. The cubs, later named Kwesi and Thandi, lay curled up, deprived of milk and warmth. Conservation staff discovered the vulnerable pair and swiftly transported them to the sanctuary's intensive care unit. Ranger Lindaway, a seasoned caretaker with 8 years at the reserve, stayed by their side through the night. Her colleague, Sifo, monitored the cubs' temperature and heart rate hourly. Kwesi's breathing was shallow and Thandi's eyes remained shut, their survival hanging by a thread. Experts attempted to feed the cubs milk replacer, but their fragile digestive system struggled with the artificial formula. Lindaway knew that without a surrogate mother, the cubs wouldn't survive 3 days. The sanctuary convened an urgent meeting to find a solution for the delicate lives of Kwesi and Thandi. Sifo recalled a tale of a dog raising a cheetah cub and proposed a bold idea: find a nursing dog to foster the lion cubs. After a desperate search, they received one response. A family 25 kilometers away reported that their German shepherd, Nala, had recently given birth, but her puppies were stillborn. Without delay, Lindaway drove through the night to fetch Nala, carrying the last hope for the cubs. Nala, a healthy 9-year-old with keen eyes, was known to be wary of cats since puppyhood. Her owners once tried introducing a kitten, but Nala barked, avoided it, and grew visibly anxious. Sifo, watching Nala step out of her kennel, feared their plan might be too ambitious. Yet when Nala sniffed a cloth carrying the scent of Kwesi and Thandi, she gave it a tentative lick, showing no aggression. The next morning, Nala arrived at the sanctuary, her demeanor calm and alert. Lindiwe held her leash tightly as they entered the care room, ready to intervene if needed. Kwesi and Thandi lay in their beds, their fur bristling from the cold, their breathing uneven. Nala approached, sniffed the cubs, and then, to everyone's astonishment, lay down and gently nudged them toward her. The room fell silent. Lindaway gripped the leash, and Sifo's eyes welled up. Kwesi began to suckle immediately, while Thandi hesitated. Nala, undeterred, licked the back of Thandi's neck, coaxing her to nurse. A quiet moment filled the room, broken only by the soft sounds of breathing and suckling. "She's accepted them," Sifo whispered, turning to hide a tear. Nala licked the cubs' ears, nuzzling them close as if they were her own. From that day, Nala never left Kwesi and Thandi's side, guarding them with fierce devotion. She cleaned their fur, licked away milk residue, and woke 4 times a night when Kwesi grew restless, never once barking or showing impatience. Thandi often curled up against Nala's leg, seeking the warmth and rhythm of her heartbeat. Kwesi, more playful, once nipped Nala's ear until it bled slightly, but Nala merely licked him back with affection. Each morning, Nala patrolled the enclosure, nudging the cubs with her snout as if urging them to rise. The trio often rested under a marula tree, Nala in the center with Kwesi and Thandi nestled beside her. "We don't have lions anymore. We have 3 dogs with 1 mother," Lindiwe joked. Thandi learned to retract her claws under Nala's guidance, as Nala would gently lick her forehead when she pounced too roughly. Both cubs thrived, growing quickly, feeding well, and playing with sturdy branches. Sifo often wrote in his journal, marveling at Nala's boundless maternal love. "I've never seen a dog transcend species like this," he noted. Nala, once quick to bark at big cats, now growled softly to shield her cubs, her love reshaping her instincts into a new identity, a mother in every sense. Nala's story spread across the reserve, drawing visitors eager to witness the lion mother dog. But as time passed, Nala's steps grew slower, her breathing heavier. She no longer led the cubs on long walks, instead watching them from the shade. Kwesi and Thandi, now nearly 60 kilos with thick manes and sharp claws, began training for survival. Nala lacked the strength to chase them, lying quietly as they played. Lindaway and Sifo decided it was time for Nala to retire, to live out her days in peace. On the day of parting, Kwesi growled softly, pawing the ground in protest while Thandi circled Nala, rubbing her head against her. Nala licked their foreheads, then glanced back repeatedly as she entered the car with Lindaway. Nala returned to a quiet farmhouse near the town of Kuruman, where her owners cared for her every need. She remained alert, often gazing at the door when familiar sounds stirred, as if waiting for her cubs. Kwesi and Thandi moved to a larger training pen, learning to hunt and climb. They grew fiercer, more reactive to other animals, yet softened when they saw Lindaway's blue jacket. Sifo shared Nala's story with visitors who doubted it until they saw the gentle lick marks on Thandi's cheek. 2 years later, Nala, now frail and trembling, returned to Tswalu for a visit. The reserve prepared meticulously, with rangers stationed around Kwesi and Thandi's enclosure. Lindaway led Nala through the gate, her hands trembling with anticipation, while Sifo gripped his walkie-talkie in silence. Kwesi and Thandi stood on a rocky outcrop, scanning the horizon. As the wind shifted, Nala raised her head, catching a familiar scent, and her tail wagged eagerly. Thandi noticed first, freezing before letting out a low growl and bounding forward. Kwesi followed, sprinting as if a buried memory had surged to life. "Secure the gate," Lindaway called, but Nala stood fearless, her eyes locked on the approaching lions. Thandi buried her head in Nala's neck, rubbing vigorously, while Kwesi slowed and licked Nala's paws like a child rediscovering his mother. The rangers stood speechless, witnessing soft whimpers and wagging tails. No aggression, only reunion. Nala licked their cheeks, her tail swaying faintly, her eyes half closed as if no time had passed. Thandi rested her head on Nala's back while Kwesi stood watchfully nearby, guarding his mother. Sifo wiped away tears, whispering, "They still know her. She's still their mother." Under the Tswalu sun, 3 creatures of different species united, bound by a love that transcended blood. Researchers from the University of Pretoria arrived to document the phenomenon, capturing photos, videos, and data on Kwesi and Thandi's cortisol levels and neurological responses near Nala. The results showed reduced stress and stabilized heart rates, defying typical instincts. "This isn't just reflex," a biologist remarked. "It's memory and emotion." A dog fostering lion cubs was rare, but adult lions recognizing their surrogate mother was unprecedented. The team dubbed it a remarkable case of cross-species maternal bonding, with findings slated for an international exhibit titled "Love Without Borders." Nala returned to her farmhouse, living peacefully but visiting her cubs annually. Kwesi and Thandi, now apex predators, remained gentle beside their small, steadfast mother. At Tswalu, Nala is more than a dog. She is a mother in the truest sense, proving love knows no species. What are your thoughts on this story? Share them below.